Now, as far as the NBA Live Elite game goes, I remember I watched one of your videos. I think it was from last year. You had mentioned, I seen you using Carmelo Anthony. And you were basically saying, NBA Live is not a bad game. And I remember I seen you making his moves, and the moves were realistic. And this goes into what you were saying basically in the Pre-Patch Memory song. You basically said NBA Live doesn't look realistic, but it plays like that. NBA 2K looks realistic, but it doesn't play like that. So what are your thoughts on that?
That's just the truth. I mean, we could talk about it all day, but there's just things in live that are just realistic. For instance, let's say you're taking a jump shot, and I contest your shot too close. In NBA Live, I can foul you on the tip of your hand, or I can come down and foul you on your leg, and the ref will call a foul.
Wow.
In 2K, that never happens. You could be swatting all in their face, and there's no kind of foul. If you want to get a foul, you actually have to do the move where you jump into them. But just little things like that, little things like that show you that live is focused more on getting the fundamentals down. And that's just another example of live basically having something that 2K doesn't.
Right.
And then, of course, another example, which is a really good example. In NBA Live, let's say if there's 1 second left on the shot clock, or 1 second left on the game clock, or even, 0.7 seconds, you can do an accelerated jump shot that you cannot do in 2K. And in 2K, it's actually really bad, because let's say if you have 1 second left on the shot clock or 1 second left on the game clock, sometimes with some players you can't even shoot the ball in time. And that's just terrible. Like, I actually posted a My Player game, where LeBron James I think he had like a second or two, and they had the last shot. He couldn't even get his shot off before the buzzer sounded.
Yeah, I seen
that. So something so simple like that is just, why don't they have an accelerated jump shot? That's something that you need in a basketball game.
Right. I agree. And just like some of the things that you talked about with Mr. 360 Beast, when you're talking about some of the accessories and things like that, that's kind of, simple stuff to
Definitely.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah. Now, I heard that somebody from 2K went over to NBA Elite or NBA Live, one of the guys that make the game or something. Did you hear about that or no?
Yeah, was that
last year?
Last year. We had Mike Wang, who left 2K and joined basically NBA Live for a year. But the funny thing is that now he's back with 2K.
Wow.
So he left 2K, he worked on NBA Live, and then now he's back with 2K. So
wow,
it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, this would be probably a hypothetical question to a lot of people out there if I asked them this question. But for you, it's really not, because of your success with YouTube, Chris, and everything, I really see you having a future in some kind of video gaming thing. And this will go to my next question. But basically, if Chris Smoove had to or could make a perfect NBA game, based off of everything you said about 2K and NBA Elite and things like that, how would Chris Smoove in general, how would he make that game?
It's a pretty good question. As far as making games, I have no kind of skills with programming or any of that. I took a programming class in high school, and it was just the worst class I've ever taken. I had to make a little tic-tac-toe game, and just being able to do that, just being able to make the AI, basically respond to what you're doing and try to beat you in a game, that was like the most difficult thing I've ever done.
Wow.
And I wouldn't be able to do that for the game, but I could definitely give some ideas
right
to a game. And some of the ideas I would have is just, it's really just fundamentals. Both of the games are they're missing some fundamentals. For one, we'll just talk about passing, skip passes.
Okay.
Players like LeBron James and Kobe and Wade, they're making skip passes every game. And both games don't have a skip pass in the game. So let's say if the entire defense is focused on the right side of the court, and there's a player open in the left corner, in both games you cannot make a pass from right to left like that. It'll get stolen. There's not a high enough skip pass, so you can't even do something like that.
Right.
in both of the games. That's an idea I would put in.
Okay.
Another idea would be the pick and roll game, because the pick and roll game is more complicated than just, hey, he's going to set a pick and you run around it. I'd like to see guards like CP3 and Steve Nash. I'd like to see when they go over the screen, they actually keep the defender on their back. That's something that you see like Steve Nash or CP3 do a lot. After the pick, they don't allow the defender, the point guard defender, to get back in front of them. They keep them behind them. That's something that I would add into the game. Another thing would be rebounding. In both of these games, players are not actually doing moves to get rebounds. They're just kind of jumping up and grabbing the rebounds. I would like to see guys, boxing out. I'd like to see Dwight Howard, if he doesn't have the position, instead of just jumping over the guy to get the rebound, I like to see him do a swim move, a spin move, something to gain the position back and then get the rebound. Just little things like that. That's what I would do to make, I guess, the perfect game, even though no game could be perfect, but
so that's
it
why
would definitely improve a lot with some of my ideas.
Right.
Definitely.
So that's why in the my player mode I shouldn't upgrade rebounds.
Yeah.
Hey, I just got to up my vert, right?
True.
I just got to up my vert, right?
Yep, that's true.
Because the box out move.
In 2K, rebounding is pretty much about vertical.
Right.
Because like I said, there's no moves that you can do when you don't have position to actually get position. So the only way you can get a board is to do a vertical rebound, and that's why guys like Kevin Love, he's a great rebounder, but in 2K, if you have a guy like Amari going up against him, Amari's going to grab every rebound because it's vertical. Right. And it's just, that shouldn't be. It should be, the rating should actually mean something. So if Kevin Love has 99 rebounding, then he should really be boxing out and getting most of the rebounds because he's the better rebounder. It shouldn't be based on who can jump the highest.
Okay. Well, this is obviously this is Jerry's NBA Talk TV, and we talk about the NBA. And I know that you have other things that you do on your channel as far as video games are concerned. But as far as the NBA 2K videos that you make with your league games, your My Player, with your point guard and your power forward, a lot of people want to know, what's going on with the point guard. Are you going to make more power forward videos? My question is, how much harder, because it seems like you're making more Modern Warfare videos than you are 2K. So to let your fans know that are waiting on the 2K videos, how much harder is it for you, Chris Smoove, to make and edit and post a NBA 2K video versus a Modern Warfare video?
It's definitely tough because pretty much when I'm playing 2K, I play a pretty long game. If it's a league game, it's 8-minute quarters. There's timeouts, there's out of bounds, there's halftime. And so the game basically is 40 minutes long, the league games. And so at the end of the game, to get it on YouTube, I have to go through each quarter and pick out the best plays from the game, cut them, have to do a lot of editing. That takes a lot of time. And so it's not as easy to release the 2K videos. Even if I'm doing a My Player game, it's the same thing because I'm playing 12-minute quarters or 10-minute quarters, 8-minute quarters, whatever I decide to do for that game. And so it's more work. It's definitely more work, but at the same time, I put out much more 2K videos than Modern Warfare. I have much more, and I've actually started a series on Machinima Sports. They gave me a slot on Tuesday. So every Tuesday, no matter what, one of my videos will be coming out. So I'm going to use that time to submit My Player videos. And last week, Tuesday, I submitted a power forward video. This week, I'm going to do a point guard video. So I'm going to be going back and forth. But I got a lot of 2K videos to release. And so I'll pretty much be it's going to be crazy. There's going to be a time where there's going to be league games coming out every day. Like more than one game coming out every day. Because once I'm actually done playing in these leagues, instead of using that time to play in the league, I can use it to release a video. And so we're in our last season right now with 2K10, and once that season's done, I'm just going to be taking a nice break until 2K11 comes out. So that whole time, instead of gaming, I'll be putting out the videos.
Wow. Sounds good. I'm looking forward to that. I know everybody else is too. Now, speaking of Machinima, because I don't know anything about this and we didn't talk about this, can you explain to me and the novice fans out there how Machinima works, and how did Chris Smoove get into and get on to Machinima?
Machinima allows you to basically earn some revenue on your videos.
Okay.
And a lot of people wonder why I don't just do that on my own channel. But I actually don't have the rights to do that because I'm using video game footage. And so in order to obtain those rights, I'd have to get some kind of contract or something from the game developer. So if it's a 2K game, I'd have to get the 2K developer. If it's Modern Warfare 2, I'd have to get the Infinity War developer, etc. And they don't just give out that kind of consent to just anybody. But Machinima, they have a deal with basically all of the gaming developers, so they can do that. They're allowed to put up any game footage and put the ads on it to earn revenue. So Machinima, that's basically what it is it's allowing an everyday YouTuber to earn some revenue on his videos by posting on their channel. So that's what Machinima is all about.
Wow, okay. Now, what are the qualifications for that? Like, do you ever have any certain views, certain subscribers, and how did you get picked to do that? Obviously, I know you got a lot of subscribers and viewers, but tell us about the process with that.
You really don't have to have the subscribers to get picked, because there's a lot of people on there that they actually didn't have any subscribers, and their first maybe 100 subscribers actually came from Machinima. You basically just have to submit them a video. If you go on their channel, it'll say how to submit a video, and then if they like your video making skills, they'll go ahead and they'll bring you on. They'll bring you on and you'll be able to post videos and earn revenue.
Okay.
As far as how did I get on there, they actually contacted me.
Okay.
And so it was funny because they sent me a message, and a lot of times messages get lost on YouTube in my private message box. Like if I show you a picture, you'll see one page I read every single question. Second page I read every question. Third page maybe I missed a couple, but then you'll see pages where I don't even get to read the messages. That's how many that I'm getting. And so they sent me a message and I didn't reply, so they were like, what's happening? And finally when they actually left a comment on my channel, I didn't even see their comment on my channel. I just saw people on my channel saying, Smoove, go to Machinima, do it. And I was like, what are they talking about?
Right.
And so I started flipping through my channel comments, and I see that they actually posted right on the channel comments. So that's when I went looking for their message to see what they were saying.
Wow.
So that's how I got on there. If they wouldn't have messaged me, I probably would have never even known about it. So.
Wow, that's crazy, because I remember thinking that too, because I heard you on a radio show or something you were doing with the Modern Warfare guys. You did like a show with them. Yeah, and I heard you saying, I think you asked them, do you guys check your inboxes and stuff like that? And I have a lot of people ask me that. Does Chris Smoove check all his messages, and how many does he get a day? How many do you get a day on an average in a 24-hour span?
I don't know, it might be close to about 100 every day.
Wow.
So basically, in order for me to keep up with all these messages, I would have to constantly be on and reading and responding back. But it's just so hard to keep up with. Like, I know it sounds bad because people are like, wow, he doesn't even read all his messages, but it's tough.
Yeah.
Because when I hop on YouTube, I'm usually, uploading a video. Maybe I'm watching one that I'm subscribed to. And if I'm not, then I'll be reading messages. But if I were to actually read all these messages, I wouldn't have time to do anything else, because, when you read a message, you have to actually read the message and then, respond back. And so I'm able to do that with some people. And, all I can say is just keep sending the messages, and hopefully when I'm actually looking at messages, you'll be on the page when I'm looking at it. So.
Right, that's funny, because I don't know if you read the whole message I sent you to be on my show, but that's exactly what I said in the message. Do you remember that?
I actually did read your entire message. That's what you said. You said you were going to send it every couple of days because I get a lot of messages.
Right.
And so that's definitely why I wanted to do the show, because I know that you kind of understand. Because a lot of people that are sending me messages, they don't really understand how all of this is working out. But you actually understood, so I'm like, why not go on this show? Why not? He actually understands.
Why not?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I appreciate that once again. So